Hello, everybody. You can call me Hunch. And everybody's sleeping, so I'm talking soft like a radio host. Now, we're going to be talking about AI things. You know, what I think you should be thinking of when you think of AI in the market. You know, is it an agent? Is it an infrastructure, right? Everybody knows AI, XPT, under base, right? It's that thing you see on Twitter talking to everybody. You know, I don't think that's a bad investment or whatever, but, you know, I think this market is just too difficult for the average person, including myself, right? You have to have trading bots if you want to, you know, are you going to hold? Are you going to look for the massive gain? Are you going to just kind of slice off every 20% pump? That's really up for you to decide. I'm kind of just giving you what I'm thinking, okay, not financial advice. So let's kind of dive on in. All right, so there's some interesting AI plays, right? Like I said, you have agents, but you also have this thing called Grift. I think it's like an AI DeFi thing, right? So they're integrating in everything, right? Is AI agents going to be just like chatbots, or are they going to be in DeFi helping you trade and maximize gains and yield? Or, you know, is it going to be some other iteration in gaming, right? We don't really know at this point. I think this Grift one is like an AI DeFi thing if you want to get exposure to here, and then this other one is like kind of like a chain link of AI cookie for it's on base, right? To me, I would not be doing investments in these, right? These are like moonshots. They're at $100 million something market cap, right? I would just be owning the L1s that these are built under, right? Because those are collecting fees for their use and so on and so forth. That base chain, right? You have Ethereum or you have Solana with these. In my humble opinion, it should be Solana, right? For this bull run, if you look at the Sol Bitcoin chart, I think it's probably the most bullish out of all the Bitcoin, you know, comparing a crypto to Bitcoin. You know, this is a major cap, right? Obviously, I don't have every single chart for every meme coin, every whatever, right? We're just talking generalities here. So if you want to go in a direction, I continue to advocate for the L1s. I think after we had that implosion, you know, 6 months ago or 8 months ago, right, and you had like a very clear signal about what the market wanted, which was like Bitcoin DeFi, or it had some gaming things that were pretty easy to predict. I think nothing is easy to predict anymore, and it would be foolish, I think, if you really tried to hone in on that, unless you made that like your full-time full-time job, right? You had like a Telegram, you had a Discord, everybody's talking about it, you're scrolling through it 24/7. Most people just can't live their lives like that. I know I can't live my life like that with a newborn baby, or about a baby who's a year old. So I think it's nearly impossible. I work full-time, I do crypto, you know, I do a business, all these sort of things. So it's nearly impossible. Now, I just want to start talking about Stacks again because that's what I do, right? I think what's important to note in the news, though, before we do that, is Ross Ulbricht got freed. Now, whether you believe he should or shouldn't have, or what he did was wrong or not, there is a change in momentum, right? There is kind of like a laissez-faire approach to crypto right now. So do with that what you must. Now, in terms of Stacks, I found this very interesting. Munib was asked, you know, how do we get adoption? You know, apparently the more Stacks get adopted, the higher the yield can go. I guess because you kind of share it amongst the community or some other model. To me, that is brilliant, right? Now, maybe there's some political connotation to that. Is that, you know, is there not a private ownership or whatever? But to me, that seems like the most public thing you can have, right? Like if you have a stock and you have a dividend, right? That is kind of the same thing, right? The network does well, you do well. The better the network does, the better you do, right? In a public company, right? They don't necessarily have to raise dividends, right? They have these top shareholders that control all that. So very interesting. I don't think it has like, you know, a top shareholder approach, right? You have devs that can maybe change it, but much more decentralized, right? Or much more DAO type structure, decentralized autonomous organization. So very interesting. I like that development. I'm learning more about. Now, I started this movement where I got pissed off at Stacks, and you see this like really crazy unity amongst Stacks. I don't want to say I was the catalyst. There was a few others that are highly involved in Stacks, some builders and stuff, so I would never take credit away from them. But there is a re-energization. Or, okay, everybody is re-energized, okay? Again, about Stacks, right? They're kind of coming together. they're having this NFT movement, right? They're trying to have better communication with the Stacks intern, right, about the direction, whether that's promoting that we're built in the USA, getting on these lists that are being done. I'll show that here in a second, right? Also to note, more unique wallets are coming out. So again, more bullish. You have real world assets coming to layer 2s, right? Core, Stacks, blah, blah, blah. So the more we can get these things, the bigger the liquidity, obviously, right? So good. You have AI being built, right? You can see this here, this dev, over 100 deployed AI DAOs. I don't know what that means. Is that, completely worthless, right? They're going to go on a pump.fun. I think it's a factory.fun, kind of like, or Stack City, right? Which is basically you launch a coin. I don't know anything about this. I'm just saying people are excited about their projects, right? They're re-energized. Man, is that even a word? Nobody even knows. Okay, right? They left Stacks off this Grayscale Trust, but we are in this token landscape for the Coinbase 50 index. But we are pushing to correct these things, right? I think it's over here. No, we don't have it over here. There was like a list of the top 50 or a list of all the coins made in the US, and they left Stacks off, and Stacks was like the first SEC registered token, so on and so forth, and then that was corrected. So I think the community is pushing towards this, like, we've had enough of being forgotten as a token standard, as a decentralized layer, right, as a settlement layer for Bitcoin that's connected to Bitcoin, right? I think a lot of the community has just had enough of being pushed to the wayside, so these centralized organizations can get on top. Now whether that is a function of decentralization or there is nefarious activity, I'm not sure. I think it's a combination of both, right? Coinbase obviously has an interest in Bitcoin DeFi, and they don't want to share those profits with something like Stacks holders, right? So very interesting. Again, a lot of big influencers, and you got to be careful of this because they may dump on us if the market pumps. Stacks is on their list all the time, right? And you can see this with that Martini guy, huge following, right? He's talking about things in the community, right, that builders are excited about. So again, they may pump it, it may dump. Just be very careful. But I like the energy. I like the vigor. I like how everybody is really coming together. Again, in terms of AI, there is some good plays, but it just seems like it's too hard still, even though it's a little bit easier than meme coins for the average user. And to me, it just seems like you should be stacking Solana, Ethereum, Avalanche, right? I mean, just to gain exposure to these, right? If this pumps 30 times or 40 times or 50 times, Solana might do a 5x, right? Or 4x. And Avalanche may do a 10x, right? Depending on the market cap size, how much liquidity. And Ethereum may do a 3x, and Bitcoin may do a 2x, right? So I think depending how much you have invested, right, a 2x is incredible, right? Because we all kind of know when we're going to sell. In my opinion, it's around the $7 trillion total market cap, 7.5 trillion. Bitcoin maybe at 180K, cycle top, pi cycle top indicator, all these things. So very interesting developments. Anyway, you can call me Hunch. I've started a movement. I know you feel it. I know you hate me, but look what I've done for you, okay? I've sacrificed my reputation, my well-being, get you back on track. The boat's back at the harbor, right? I mean, I've got swelling in the eyes here. Sacrificed everything for you, Stacks.